Hey guys, it's Kiara and today I'm here with another video and I want to make this intro quick. It's going to be a GCSE advice video, everything you need to know, everything that I did, and there's a disclaimer is that I didn't actually do my GCSEs and I know that, but I want to make this video because it might be useful for those in quarantine that are going and moving on to year 11 and that are doing their GCSEs next year, God willing, and hopefully it will help you guys out. Main tips: how to revise, how long you should spend, what to do during the exam season, and yeah. First one is to definitely, I've written some things down, but first one is to definitely do not stress. It may seem like it's going to be a huge thing, and honestly it is important, but just do not stress, because moving on to A level and sixth form, it's definitely so much work than GCSE. Secondly is to definitely be organized. If you see my last video of the full GCSE cleaner, you can see that I wasn't an organized person at all and everything was just kind of in a mess. I didn't really know I have a place for my subjects properly, so I was like struggling to find my subjects during my year 11. Thirdly, you want to know your revision technique. So either it is just writing notes, making flashcards, or blurting. You want to find a way that will help you best to remember and that would be more easier for you. What I did notes and then flashcards. Make sure when you do flashcards you summarize your notes. Don't write your notes on the flashcards. Flashcards are supposed to be small text, lots of space, and just words that you should remember. And blurting, if you don't know already, it is just basically you have a sheet of paper and you write everything you know about that topic or that subject, and then afterwards look in your textbook and fill in the gaps of your memory, and then just remember those things that you don't remember. If you're in year 10 right now and you're moving on to year 11 this September, God willing, definitely make sure you start making your resources and prepare for your November mocks. I didn't prepare for my November mocks. I think we only had like 2 months before, when I was in year 11 I only had like 2 months for making all my flashcards and like revising for the November mocks. So in year 10, definitely set up a timetable for year 10, because in year 10 you have to be serious. I wasn't that serious in year 10, so I kind of regretted that. Make sure that when you do your revision notes, make sure it's the revision notes that you want to use the night before the exam. Set a timetable for your subjects or after your school, especially in quarantine. Try to do a schedule. I wouldn't recommend just doing work on the weekends, just take weekends off. So you want to make sure that you've got all of your revision resources, your textbooks, getting your notebooks, buying your flashcards. Went into year 11, I did not have textbooks for every subject. Sometimes your school can give you them. Only gave maths textbooks and science textbooks. 3-book or RE book, I had to buy them myself. So buy it now because you want to be learning everything that's on your textbook like now. What I mean by that is just starting your revision notes from the textbook. And a tip that my friend gave me, and she got really good in her GCSEs, she got A's in her GCSEs, A stars. She said to remember everything in your textbook, because your textbook is basically like what's on your test. Since you're year 10 and you're in quarantine right now, you need to start doing revision resources. Do revision resources for every topic each week. So for example, biology. So for example, if you're going to choose the first topic of biology to start revising, get your revision resources done, then I would do this whole topic, this whole chapter in 1 week. Do a topic for every subject every week, and therefore you are just ticking off the topics that you have got covered. Do one topic of all the subjects a week. For history, it's also divided into medicine in medieval England. Do that topic for 1 week, and it's not even that much. Don't forget to make a tick list. Write down all of your topics down, put it on a piece of paper, stick it on your wall, and then once you finish that topic, tick it off. For maths, I wouldn't do one topic a week, because it has just one page of a topic. So for example, vectors, I would do this in one day and then go for some practice questions, do practice questions, learn the topic, do practice questions. I think a topic a week for every subject kind of seems like a lot, but don't worry. So how I revised, the timings I use, 2 hours of study revision, but I would do the main things first, which is your homework. Finish your homework. Hours is just your revision, making your revision resources and remembering. 4 subjects a day. You space out your subjects as you want to do every single subject. So I think I had 9 subjects or 8 subjects. Space it out through the 5 days. You can also repeat some of the subjects. If you have a subject that has a much more longer topic, then definitely repeat those subjects in a week. I don't know if you understand hours, so 30 minutes each. You can try the Pomodoro technique where it's 25 minutes and 5 minutes break, or just do 30 minutes. May not seem like a long time or revision, but that's why I just try to like write quick. If you don't understand anything, if you don't understand something, go to your teacher and just put your hand up and just tell them that you don't understand it. Basically, you want to be sure that you understand it well. You divide the subject into its papers. So for history, there's 3 papers, so you want to section that out. So when you are organizing your things, this one is just a English, all of the resources for English literature paper 2. So for English, don't just jumble up all of your English resources in one pile or in one folder. Make sure, or binder, make sure you have separate sections. So as I said about the timetable and setting up a schedule, make sure you set up a day where you just memorize the notes that you learned that week. So for me, I did Friday after school, 2 hours, 15 minutes of each subject. I would just look at my flashcards or look at my notes and just recall them, blurt out some things that I remember, fill in the gaps, and do practice questions. My Sunday for English questions, separated it to English literature and English language. I would do like 1 hour of English literature or 1 hour of English language, practicing questions. Down Grade 9 example essays. There are loads on YouTube. So Mr. Salas teaches English. That one's a good YouTube channel to go to. More better than Mr. Bruffa in my opinion. Example grade 9 essays. Also Stacey Ray grade 9 essays. Just write that down, and when you do your own grade 9 essays, use the same technique as that grade 9 essay that you just written. Print out some sentence starters, stick them on your wall, or some really good literary words that are really good for your writing. Then just stick that on your wall. You can see this is my flashcard box. I put it all in a shoebox, but as I said, you want to be staying organized. So for the literature paper 2 flashcards, I put it in this folder so that it doesn't all get mixed up in that shoebox. For poems, I also recommend that you separate everything to structure. This is the PowerPoint that I just printed out. Structure, analysis, and yeah, so I have some quotes here that are really good for memory, and then I've written down the analysis. This is an example of my science flashcards. As you can see, there are some questions and some notes. And one thing I do recommend is to don't be like me and write down your notes on the flashcards. Make sure you write keywords, key points, and just summarize everything, and literally just write a sentence or like 2 sentences on a flashcard. And this is basically the specification for each paper on science, for science. And I separated to paper 1, paper 2. You can also use this as a checklist. It gives really decent information, like homeostasis maintains the optimal conditions for enzyme action and all cell functions. And it gives you the information that you need for the exam. Saturdays would be practice questions. For example, practice questions for science. Don't spend like hours, like just spend like 2 to 3 hours. Make sure you separate them to 30-minute chunks or 25-minute chunks. Do 3-4 hours of focused revision. In biology, there are 7 topics seven topics get done. Therefore, it would just take 7 weeks. There are 15 topics in history, so you can do that in 15 weeks. And in year 11, it's around 32 weeks. Free science lessons is definitely really good for science, but there are a lot of videos to get through. So I wouldn't recommend like watching every single video. Just watch the videos that you are not really sure of. Definitely learn the practicals, guys. Tools that are in physics and maths tutor. It literally has every single thing that you need. The equipment, the aim. Don't forget for English, make sure you have essay plans. When you do past paper questions, you want to make sure you use your knowledge first, write it down, and then afterwards, if you got it wrong, check in the textbook, look in your textbook and see what's missing. And then you mark it using the mark scheme. And then after, you just try the paper by yourself. In exam season, I would make sure that I would like do around 2 to 3 hours of revision. If I had one exam the next day, I would do like 15 minutes on that topic, another 15 minutes on that topic, etc. Afterwards, do some practice questions and do blurting. But if you have 2 exams the next day, then you want to separate and you want to do 4 hours of revision, and I recommend splitting those hours into 30 minutes and do 30 minutes of, okay, if you have maths and chemistry the next day, do 30 minutes of chemistry. Then the next 30 minutes you do 30 minutes of maths, and then it goes on and on and on. What I did, I just slept at 9 and woke up at 5. Got a good amount of sleep, around, yeah, I got around 8 hours of sleep. Still had like 2 hours in the morning free of just revision. When you are rising, just calm down, do not stress. Have some time where you spend time with your family and have a break, like after dinner or somewhat. Definitely don't go on your phone, don't go on social media, because that will really help to reduce the stress. Because when you're talking with friends the night before the exam, it just gets so like, I don't know, stressful, and the tension just builds up. Maybe just teach your siblings or your parents what you learn. My mock exam times, I was like there speaking out loud. And when you get to school, just calm down. The thing is, do not compare, and yeah, do not compare your work to others, because that can like lower your confidence. Ask your friends to test you, and then after the exam, don't like talk about it with your friends, although it can be quite tempting to talk about the questions in the exam. Your friend might say the right answer and you actually got the wrong answer. So hey guys, I'm just gonna do the main websites that I recommend. So this one is called Susan English. It's susanenglishwordpress.com, and it literally compares basically all of the poems. So if you're struggling for English Literature Paper 2, if you're struggling to find a example essay of a comparison poem, then definitely go to this website, because she writes down like basically a grade 9 essay. YouTube channel is Mr. Silas Teaches English, and his videos are so good. He has example essays and how to answer the questions, key quotes. So this YouTube channel, Stacey Ray, she's really good at analysis and grade 9 stuff, which I recommend. Free science lessons is also really good. For maths, Corbett Maths is really good. Maths Genie is the #1 website for me, and it has GCSE revision here. From grade 1, you can literally type up what topic you want, and it has grade 9 topics here. It has the exam questions and the answers for the exam questions, and also videos. And go to GCSE practice papers, it even has GCSE predicted papers. But if you go to the GCSE practice papers, it has practice tests, so these aren't past exam questions. So for physics and maths tutor is literally amazing for GCSE. So if you go to GCSE, it has past papers as well, but if you go to GCSE revision 1 and paper 2, which I think is amazing, and it has the practical skills, it has questions by topic. And by the way, these numbers mean the level of exam questions. So if it has a number 3, then that level of exam questions is more higher than 1 definitions. So here's an example of the notes. So I think that's really good. I forgot to include this again, but these GCSE AQA science cards are really good. It's basically flashcards for you all in one app, and it's definitely better than Quizlet. Green means that I completed it, and the red means that I'm not really sure on that flashcard. So it's just like this, and it tells you everything you need to know. It has all the topics for you to do. The ones that you got wrong, it comes into cards review, so then you would have to review that now. For 3 of the sciences, it costs £3, and you can just get this on the App Store and start this now. I wish I got this in year 10 so that I would have completed all of the flashcards, because as you can see I got this quite late and I didn't complete some of the topics. These flashcards from Corbett Maths, which basically has all of the topics, and it just tells you the main key points of that topic. And then at the back it has the scan. There's this website called Pixie Maths, and it has like a booklet full of grade 9 questions, and also has the answers, because those grade 9 questions are the ones that are at the back of the paper, of the maths paper, and it's best to practice the hardest ones. But obviously you get the easy ones done. What I also did, I basically written down all of the hardest questions, like all of the hardest questions that I didn't really get when I was doing the practice papers or past exam questions. I didn't really get these questions, so I written it on a flashcard and tried to understand it. But yeah, I got these rings on Amazon and just put it all together, and I would do a flashcard for every topic. These are the CGP flashcards for science. These are the higher ones. They have a combined one. They're around £20 for all 3 of them, but again, once you're done with GCSE you can sell them, give them away, give them to a sibling. And if you're in year 10, definitely, okay, it's not compulsory, but it's good to go through these early, because in year 11 I did not have time to go through each, like a topic a day would just be so much to go through, because there are a lot of questions. But if you start in year 10 and just start practicing these in year 10, then it will just be such an ease for you in year 11. Words to use instead of shows or suggest. So we have displays, contradict, what to call it, revision resource of my notes, and I put them in plastic wallets and used these ring holder thingies from Amazon and made it a booklet. And when you write your notes, I recommend reading a sentence from the textbook and then using your memory to remember it and write it down. I forgot to include one more thing. I'm currently editing this video and I need to include one more thing. What really helped me and helped me to not stress is definitely including Jesus in my study times, definitely praying. But God is ahead of you and He knows what's going to happen. He knows your grades. He knows what's going to be in the exam. just asking for the Holy Spirit's wisdom before you start studying and before you do the exam. Literally, I had times in the exam where God has just been, you know, helping with my memory. He has literally helped me in year 11. Don't stress, you honestly got this. This video is so long. Use your quarantine time wisely. The amount of times I say don't stress out, seriously don't. Just chillax, do your best. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.